Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Moines with Hakeem podcast. I am your host, Juwan Hakeem. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about community, how that impacts us, how to get involved, some ideal ways to just jump right in if you looking to get involved. And I interviewed a couple of my friends who I'm in community with and who do a ton of things in the community to get this episode off. So please enjoy what Ian, Tyler, and Markee have to say. And if you look for a place to get involved, we are a beacon. These three young men are a beacon, and we mentioned a ton of other people you can get in touch with to get involved in this community and help make Des Moines a better place and help make your own environment with your friends. And if you're lacking in the area, with other people to reach out to have a community, a tight-knit community. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this episode, and like, subscribe, and share. See y'all soon. Well, I'm here today with my brother Ian Warner, community pastor at Cottage Grove. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Man, thanks for having me again, bro. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, this times 3 for you, but really one session. I chopped up one for you. But we just want to talk about community today and why is community important to you, and why others should be serving in their community and getting involved, and how good it feels. So definitely excited to have you on here. I feel like this is something that you've been excelling at. So that's just me boasting, not you. But first of all, let's talk straight. Let's go straight into it. Like over this last year and a half, how has your community been impacting you?
So I think there's a couple levels to this. There is the community in terms of like the people that you're doing life with. Mm-hmm. So for me personally as a Christian, the people who are around me, mm-hmm. who were challenging each other to live life as Christ did. And if you know anything about Jesus, he was out with the people. And
at all times.
And he was loving on people. People was running up to him, just trying to touch him, trying mm-hmm. to just have a word from him, right? Because they wanted what Jesus had. But he wasn't just a dude who was locked away in his basement, mm-hmm. just on his computer all day, right? Yeah. And like just being real, that's my tendency, right? Like the part of COVID that was exciting was it gave you an excuse to kind of lock off from
not
the world.
Do community.
Yeah, exactly. To lock off from the world and just essentially be all about yourself. But as I've focused more on having community with fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, mm-hmm. I have a natural inclination, I would say, towards people who want to serve in the community. So coming to church, it's like is important, but also it's just as important for them to be in the neighborhood, be mm-hmm. making some type of impact on the city, mm-hmm. and paying attention to where is our city hurting, yeah. and what are we going to do to help create that change. And mm-hmm. for me, my wife's pregnant right now with our 4th child, so we have 3 kids and 1 on the way. It's like I want a better Des Moines for my kids as well.
Yeah.
So, one thing right off the bat with Des Moines is like when I was hearing that, there's a lot of middle school violence, a lot of fights in middle schools, just a lot of problems. It's really hard for middle school teachers. It's like I want to play a role in helping to change that because my kids are eventually going to be in middle school. They're eventually going to be that age, God willing. And you just want to see a better Des Moines, a better school system for them to be able to go through. Yes. So I think there's just those 2 aspects. There's like the community of people that are tight-knit with, that are actually holding you accountable, that are challenging you to be better.
Doing life with them.
But then from having that, the next step that creates that even closer community for that group is actually going out and serving other people together.
So like both aspects of community you hit on are super, super important. I really believe that. I want to stick with the one that's like not so tight-knit as your people you're doing life with every day. Mm-hmm. How would you suggest a person get started on helping serving Des Moines?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say starting somewhere is like, and it sounds so simple, right? But it's like people have a lot of ideas and they want to see big things change, but big things change from making really small actions.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and I kind of talked about this last time I was on the podcast with like habits, right? But it's like if you want to get in shape, you're not going to get in shape by just eating healthy one day. You got to eat healthy day in and day out. You got to work out day in and day out. You got to do all those little things day in and day out over a long period of time. And after that, you will begin to see changes begin to happen.
Yeah.
And it's the same in the community. Start with building one relationship with someone. Someone who is in need, build a relationship. And the reason why I say build a relationship versus just help them is because when you help someone, it's a one-way transaction. But true friendships and relationships that are built, it's always two-way, right? You don't just call on me and say, hey, Ian, help me. And I don't just call on you and say, hey, Drew, help me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a two-way street. We both know we can call on each other, right? That's what a true friendship is. But what happens is when we start just seeing other people as people we can help, one, we lose sight of the fact that we all need the gospel of Jesus Christ. We all need our sins to be forgiven. So we lose sight of that. So then we just see other people as like, maybe you need the gospel more than I do.
Yeah.
That creates a disconnect. But then the second thing is, no one can sustain that of just someone just calling them, and only asking, but there never being a true two-way street where you call someone and say, hey man, let's just go get lunch because I care about you as a person and I want to spend time with you. So it's not a sexy answer that people want, but I would say if you don't know where to start, find one person, you have a conversation with one homeless person, pour into that one person, get to know them, invite them into some other areas of your life, get to know people in their life, and
that's community,
and just start letting it go from there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Last question before we get off of here. Can you tell us about some of the things that you're doing right now outside of like your tight-knit community? And also you can put that in there honestly too, just so that people can get involved and like. Yeah. So I would say one of the big things is right now we're really diving in at Edmonds. There's a program there called Teammates. Yeah. And if you are looking to get involved, this is one of the simplest ways to do it. You're going to get one child and you just have lunch with that one kid. One day a week
for an hour. You can play games with them, you just eat lunch with them, you just chill with them. It's like everyone has an hour lunch anyway. But yeah, that's probably one of the simplest ways. Like the principal or the assistant principal at Edmonds, Ashley, she's always looking for new people who, it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what your situation is. If you want to play a role in a child's life, that's a great way to do it. And the beautiful thing is you stick with that one kid from elementary school
to high school,
all the way through high school.
Yep.
But it's just simple. You don't have to worry about having 10 kids and it being overwhelming. You have one kid, just make an impact in that one kid's life. The second thing that we're not quite there yet, but we're working on is running a food pantry out of Cottage Grove. So there's a house that is adjacent in the parking lot to Cottage Grove Church that we're wanting to turn it into a food pantry. And so if you don't know anything about the Drake neighborhood, it's a food desert. So if you don't have a car and you live in the Drake neighborhood, it's really difficult to get food. A lot of people will go to Come and Go, which is really expensive to get, and you can't even get everything you need.
A ton of like restaurants.
Yeah, or they'll just go to restaurants, so they're spending more money on food and money they don't really have to be spending on that. So to create an area in the neighborhood that can provide those food needs, so people can walk a shorter distance or maybe get a little bit of a break on food and not have to buy groceries for a week or whatever the case is, to really make that difference. But to do that, what we're really gonna, again, feeding into the relationship focus, the downstairs is gonna have a very coffee shop vibe to it, so that when people come in, they can just hang out there. So if you want to just do work, or instead of going to a coffee shop, you can go to the house and you can just hang out there. And as people come, you can just build a relationship with people and get to know them and be in their life.
That's dope. And you kind of hit on it earlier, but we are planning something too at Callahan Middle School, first and foremost. Doing it with Ian and a lot of other few good men, where we need more men. And we thinking about getting the women's side going, but we got to lock in this one side first, and then have some women step up. But we do need more men in the community with this problem that's going on in the middle school.
And even with that, what's so crazy about it is, like, one of the things she said that we could do is just go at lunch and just hang out with the kids at lunch, just be around, right? Like, and that's the thing, it doesn't sound sexy because, like, there's a whole bunch of other things you could do that sound sexier than that, right? But at the end of the day, just being in a middle school, consistently showing up once a week and just hanging out with kids at lunch and getting to know them, being in their lives, man, goes a long way.
No, for sure. You don't want it. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Man. I'm back here with Tyler Springer, my realtor, my also friend, if y'all didn't know. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Good.
Appreciate you having me on. I feel special.
You are special, bro. Like, and in my heart.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, there we go. We show love here. But no, yeah, Tyler, I want to just talk to you. You do a ton in the community. And I'm gonna brag on him because he's not gonna brag on himself. You do a ton in the community. You have a tight knit community and everything. So I felt it was only right for me to get you up here to talk about community. So first and foremost, can you talk about how important, like over this last year and a half, your community or the community outreach things you've done has impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, like my community, as in my close sphere of people, super important to me just for encouragement and source to vent to.
Yeah.
Both of those things. My closest friends, you included, and some of our closest friends, my wife, we're all competitive people in a way.
Yep.
So when we see each other on our grind and doing what we're supposed to do, it makes me want to lock in and do the same. As far as the community as a whole, as Des Moines, I think there was about probably a 3 or 4 month stretch this summer where I wasn't doing as much serving as I had in previous months, and then I'm trying to get back to serving as much as I can in different ways, and just the personal feeling that you get, the feeling a little bit more full, feeling a little bit more optimistic, and just and happy. It is a really, really good feeling, and I can tell the difference. So that's, I mean, and I'm sure we'll get into it. That's really the number one reason for serving. Yeah. Or one of the number one reasons for serving for me is it makes you feel good. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I kind of want to stay there too. I'm glad you mentioned that because I remember the first time at Good Vibes, we handed out meals, and I was like, yo, this is the type of dopamine reaction I want to have. Like, where I'm really looking people in their eyes, really like serving people and not boasting about it, but like, yo, just happy to be with the people. Like, how much different is that than the other dopamine, like, than just like you say, like being at home or on your phone?
Yeah, just chilling.
Like being in that community. How different is that impact on you?
I mean, it's a huge difference. It's really a feeling that you can't get anywhere else, for sure. And I think it really just comes back to when you serve, for the most part, the energy you give out is positive, and the energy you get back for the people you're serving is positive. So when those two things happen, you're bound to have a good time doing it. And then again, you do it with friends, you do it with groups of people. And you're serving groups of people. That's just a whole lot of good energy, and that's what we all need more of. I think if more people got that good energy, they'd be in a better space spiritually, in their relationships, physically, in their work life, all that stuff. Is having that outlet and creating positive energy for yourself.
Yeah, I want to talk about one thing too before we get into like ways available that you can help people serve who just don't know how. But I want to talk about like you. I feel like you've been like a complete star to your role in the sense where you're teaching what you know. Like, you're not trying to go outside. You trying to stay in your lanes and hone in and really build kids up in this way. But you've been going to Hoover High School, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you talk about like how that impact is on the kids and yourself when you go there, and what do you all do there?
Yeah. So been going to Hoover for probably like a month now, and about to get into a couple other schools that have reached out because of it. So that's like the really cool part about it. But I have a past client of mine. I sell houses, right? I have a past client of mine, DeMarco, who's a dope dude. Yeah. And he is like a counselor at Hoover essentially, and he organizes different events for the kids.
Like a successor or something like that. I forget, but
success coordinator.
He is dope.
But anyway, so he kind of reached out to me and just asked if I was interested with helping out with stuff, and we'd had gone back and forth with a couple ideas, and I was like, let's talk about what I know. Real estate's important. We've in the first episode of the Moines I was on, we talked about the importance of real estate and people learning about the power of real estate and the history of real estate, and all the things it can do for you. So it's like, let's teach that to these kids. Part of it is, again, to teach them about real estate and all the things that they could do for them. So someday they own real estate, but also a big part of it is to maybe get them inspired to get a job in the industry.
Yeah. I think you definitely plant that seed.
Yeah.
Like, even if like they don't go out to be realtors in the long run, which is not the goal, you're inspiring them to go out and follow their passions, because they can see you're very passionate about your work, which is good.
And I've had a couple people, like a mortgage lender, reach out to me and was like, "Yo, hey, I saw what you were doing. That's really cool. I'm kind of interested in doing that too."
See, yeah.
So then it on the flip side of things, I think it shows people who, a lot of people that probably know a lot more than I do about stuff to go out and do the same thing. And it's really, really simple. Like, it's not like I'm in there teaching complex stuff to them, because there's still a lot of stuff I need to learn. Very, very basic core principles, and teaching that to 15, 16, 17-year-olds. This is what I do for a job, and I learned this at like 22, 21 years old. So they're already leaps and bounds ahead of their competition. If they were to get into this space full force. But I guess something also I really want to touch on with them is like school, college, paying for college, or playing sports in college, or getting into music. All that's great, but it doesn't have to be. It's
not the only way.
Yeah, it's not three things that you can do. And obviously with that, keeping kids out of the streets and making good choices for themselves. But with real estate, you don't need a degree in a lot of things. And then you get into all the trades that are involved in real estate, plumbing, electrical, and we could have a whole hour-long conversation about that.
And you don't need degrees for those either.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up to in terms of getting into schools.
No, for sure. That's awesome. That's what I wanted to get. And I figured, but like, I didn't want to assume too much, but like, you're definitely planting seeds, like I said before, so keep doing that. But also, can you help like the person who just don't know where to start, like just don't know how to serve, just don't know how to find community, and they might feel alone?
So I'll echo Ian. I'm not sure who's gonna get air first, but I'll echo Ian, and he talked about Teammates program. I just got involved in that. I know a couple of my buddies are involved in that. You're involved in that, and men or women, it's an awesome opportunity. Super laid back atmosphere. They have everything that you need to have when you're meeting with these kids. It's an hour a week, and again, you get to follow them all throughout. So that's reach out to me, reach out to you, obviously, to get involved in that. That's by far the easiest way, if you really that I can think of that comes to mind. But other than that, find something that you're kind of passionate about, and there's ways to help. And I think people try to put a measure on helping and how much of a difference it makes, and that's something that I struggle with too, is like, if I'm handing out food, like, is this really making the difference, just one meal type of thing? But it does. It really, really does. And it's not, again, like we talked about earlier, it's that feeling that it gives people, and that's enough to push people on past a lot of challenges. So find something you want to do, and look into giving in that way. So if you like basketball, find something to do with basketball. If you like art, find something to do with art to give back, get into schools and teach kids how to draw a specific way. And then I guess third, reach out to me. I've been growing my network of people that give back. I feel like we're both good resources to point people in good ways. Follow Good Vibes Movement on Instagram. They're always posting about food and clothes handouts.
Shoes today. They're giving out shoes right now.
As I say that. So reach out to someone that you know that gives, and just know that once you take that step, it's a really, really, really cool, good feeling.
Yes, sir. No. And Tyler Springer.
And I sit here and we can both do a lot more. That's the crazy thing.
For sure.
Yeah. No. Like, we're here and how much we could give, and there's a lot more. So
absolutely.
Stay tuned for more.
We're here. We'll be that beacon. Like Tyler said, definitely feel free to reach out. Like, if y'all need something to do. But no, Tyler Springer, thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Keep spreading the good word.
I'm gonna do my best. Yo, I'm here with Markee B. Thompson.
Yo, what up?
vividvisonmedia, the man behind the Moines with Hakeem podcast.
It ain't just me.
It's just you.
It's a team effort.
Good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, let's get into it, man. We here to talk about community, and I want to know, like, first and foremost, how important is your community to you, and not just like the community of Des Moines, which is super important, but like the community in your tight knit circle that you do life with?
Oh yeah, community is huge for me. I thrive off of community. Growing up, being in church, my dad always preached about having a strong community.
Nice.
So yeah, I thrive when I'm with my community. And my community is not huge,
Yeah.
but we're very close knit. I can call anybody in my community, and whatever's going on, they're gonna take care of it for me. If I'm out of town, need to go see my wife,
Hey.
and something going on, I
Shout
call somebody in my.
911.
I know I can call somebody in my community, and they go check up on her.
Yeah, no, for sure. I didn't want to cut you off. You was
No, you good.
okay. Yeah. So, Keith, let's talk about some of the things that you're doing right now for the community of Des Moines, and also with your tight knit community, if you feel comfortable sharing.
Oh yeah, so one of the big things I'm doing right now is teammates.
Yeah.
Ian and Tyler touched on that. It's honestly probably one of the easiest ways to get connected and to serve the community. If that's the way you want to serve.
Yeah.
Some people, they might not be ready to serve children or kids, or that might not be their strong suit. So, but mine right now is serving the youth, and I do that with teammates. And yeah, that's pretty much the major thing right now I'm doing. So
That's not it, bro.
also, I'll go down the list. So I also help serve food with the Moines.
Let's go.
Also, I try to help out at Good Vibes with anything that's going on.
Yeah.
Anytime I can find time to. But yeah.
Shout out Good Vibes.
Good
man.
Vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all really want to serve, like Good Vibes have so many opportunities in different avenues of serving that you have. If you want to really serve, you have no excuse not to be serving. Like, they make it easy.
No, you hit on that, and that's where I was going next. So I'm glad you started with Good Vibes, because they're extremely important to us and what we do.
100%.
But also, like, talk about other ways to help a person, like, get involved, like, with teammates or with, like, with the Moines and other things. You know a million other people who serve, not just.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of people out there serving and helping us serve.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bunch of people. So in order to get connected, I mean, honestly, you can just reach out to Good Vibes. They're great people. You got Ben, who's very easy to talk to. You want to serve food with the Moines, reach out to the Moines. And then teammates, you honestly reach out to any of us, me, Tyler.
You just signed
and
up.
Signed up. Another thing, I'll plug my local home church.
Yeah.
You can go to Cottage Grove website, go to Ways to Serve. It's a link on there.
Yeah. That's dope.
So yeah, it's easy. It's right there. We make it easy for you to serve.
What is the biggest impact you've seen over the last 1.5 year in your life with this community you've been building and thriving and gliding in?
Oh, I have to say accountability. My community, which Drew is in my community, Tyler's in my community. I consider Ian being in my community.
He definitely is.
Yeah, accountability is huge thing for me, keeping me consistent.
Yeah.
But also keeping me grinding. I see all the homies grinding. So I'm like, I ain't grinding like I need to be grinding. And that's in my spiritual life, mental life, my physical life. So working out, financially, you know what I'm saying? We all got goals and we pushing towards them, and we hold everybody accountable. So
the community help you do that.
Oh yeah,
that's
100%.
a really good take, because
100%.
it does to me too. Like, and I don't even like notice it as much and give credit to my community for pushing me to keep
100%.
striving.
Community's big.
That's good. Last thing for the people before you get up off here, man. Last thing before we get off, man. I just want to open up Vivid Visions. I know you got goals to get plugged in and serve. Can you kind of like put them goals out there right now and let us know like what can we be expected and how our community that's watching and they're gonna bump into you on the way can get involved?
Oh yeah, for sure. One of the big things is getting to the school system.
Yeah.
With boys and girls, just teaching them creatives. Like there's ample creatives in the youth, and just kind of just showing them how to express that using a camera, graphic design, pretty much any way, and just letting them be themselves freely, and kind of just showing them the ropes of like how to monetize that also too. Yeah. You know,
that's big.
You don't
know that's big.
Yeah, you don't have to. I might get some bad, whatever you want to call it, reviews for saying this, but when it comes to being a creative and an artist, you don't have to go to college to do those, to succeed in those things. Yeah. College is very important though.
Yeah,
it's
for
huge.
sure.
It's
huge. We definitely
so
don't want to down talk it.
Yeah, I don't knock college at all, but everybody had a different paths. But some people think college is the only way to get to that destination. So I just want to let the kids know that, like, hey, that's not the only way. The same thing with sports, same thing with music. That's not the only way you can be successful and make money. You can make money in a creative way, being a creative, being yourself, outside of going to school. School is just a plus, honestly. So,
come on.
So, yeah.
Markee, thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
This episode of the Moines with Hakeem podcast was produced by vividvisonmedia, and the music is by Headband. Thank you guys for tuning in to your host, Juwan Hakeem. Be blessed.